Hello everyone and welcome back to the CraftWorks server. Today's episode we're going to start where it all began and do a CraftWorks server tour of all the builds that I did this season. So we have a lot. So let's get started. So very first thing, our spawn area is right around this big tree. This is where everybody spawned in. And on the very first day of the server, I built the fishing hut. I felt like we had to, and then I even got most of these boardwalks in. So these are all builds that I did very, very early in the season. So the fishing hut is just a very basic build. I added a little bit of copper, but mostly it's oak and deep slate and just a little bit of brick and cobble just to kind of show you what you can make with very basic early game supplies. And in the fishing hut, I added things over the years like this farmer who I found as a zombie villager down in my cave system below, and the cave tunnel is still down through here. And it leads into another cave that Jitterybug and a whole bunch of others we explored that very first day. I do have it sealed off at the moment so mobs wouldn't come in. And it used to lead up here, and then the exit used to lead up and out the back, right about there actually. And over the year, I found more villagers and more zombie villagers, brought them in here and created the villager trading hall. This is where all the magic happens, and this is where all of our mending books and all the other books that stock my store are, and a lot of like the bricks and glass and all of those fun things as well. I spent a lot of time like tweaking it and kind of even made a makeshift iron farm at one point, and I think there's, oh good, I still had iron in there. Well, I'll leave that just in case there is a server tour and a download. You know where iron is. So from there, I also had my very first storage room upstairs in the fishing hut. And for a while, all of my books were sold here at the fishing hut. I have since taken out all of the shelves. There's a few, shelves. I've taken out almost all the chests. There's some of our Death, Ancient Gordian, pumpkin banners and things here, but otherwise this is just basically some leftover junk I didn't feel like moving. And when I happen to come over here and don't feel like dropping off stuff, I just leave it upstairs. I still have my potions here. We never really got into doing potions. He doesn't seem very interested. Anyway, we never really got doing too many potions, although this is where I got all of my potions for my achievement. And then out back, we had our first cow crusher over here. I had a sugarcane farm there that I've since moved. Composter set up, the pumpkin and melon farm. I used to have the sniffers out back here. My very first little farm and well set up, and our first berry bushes that I think Tobes or somebody else brought here and planted. It could have been Zinc too. Tobes or Zinc brought those over. So this was all kind of like just everything anybody could want right out of the gate that was like a renewable resource I put right in this area, including like sugarcane and all of that. And then we've had some of our cats. I think these are actually all impalas now, after a raid that went wrong. I also had like a community farming area in through here, and eventually just created all of this into a fishing shack of sorts and just kind of decorated that up. Now if we come back around here, the poppy there from the Ancient Gordian was also my build. I built the giant Gordian the weeks leading up to the giant Gordian fight and then got to blow it up. It was a lot of fun. I still have the schematic of the Ancient Gordian. I do miss him. It was one of my proud builds, but I also love the poppy out there. I love that it sits out there. So then, following up our main path, I did most of the path work around the spawn area just because I love making paths and connecting people and connecting builds. And over time I've added like little lights. Obviously, the mushrooms got grown up. Built the stables after the post office. So post office came actually third or fourth of our builds, but we'll take a look at them in order of like coming up to them. All right, so Millie Male Mule stables I built pretty early on to house all of my donkeys and my horses, the weird horses. Ooh, sorry. All the weird little horses that we have on the server. Some of the cats are here, our impalas, just kind of like waiting in here, and then some of my mules, so Morty and Melanie and that sort of thing. Now the post office here, we didn't use it too much, but we did use it as a set piece a few times during the season. This is based on an actual post office that is not too far away from my house, more or less. It has the P.O. boxes here where people could drop off things to each other, and once in a while people did, and they have like little gags that they left for each other here in the server. I also had a service which only got used once, was outgoing mail that could go to other places. I was offering to deliver stuff to people, but once we got our wings it was a little less important, obviously. But we had the waiting line, and we had this statue mod with the trader so that we could get any of our mini blocks and reset him at any time. Everybody was free to use him as they wanted. Next build, and actually I think this was actually build number 2. This was the Enchanting House, and Enchanting House sat here before any of this was built up. Like, this was pretty much all an empty space. I wanted to give us an enchanting place, and this used to be the enchanting area right here, and then I blew it up and expanded it into an extra tall tower and then moved it there so it was a community. And then this dude spawned as a zombie right back in the corner. So I tamed him. I mean, I like cured him, but then I logged off the server, so he never like actually gave me any discounts. But that is our Power 5 guy who is over the top expensive. Now after that, we're gonna come on up here. Again, all these paths and all of the terraforming and stuff. I had so much fun doing all of this. We decided that we were gonna create a mini shopping district over here. So the mini shopping district kind of expanded this whole area, and these were my 2 shops, the Prismarine shop and the mushroom shop. So I got those built up, and then there's actually a little spider shop, which I think I've completely moved now. It used to sit over here, and then I moved it over by the Halloween district, which we'll go take a look at in a minute. But E and I did Inner Beauty here as our interior design store, and we actually have gotten a lot of use out of this, even though we didn't use the actual shop the shop itself a whole heck of a lot. I don't think... Yeah. Anyway, we had a few meetings where we would sit here and people would come in and ask for our services. We also used the consultation room a couple of times, and that's where we kept our storage for our interior decorating throughout the server. But we had a ton of fun just kind of decorating these interiors to do as examples of the work that we could do, and there was so much more that both me and E have done over in the server itself. But we had a lot of fun, and actually this was the home base for one of our raids that happened here in the server, because people had forgotten, Lane had forgotten the fact that there was a villager at the Enchanting House, and he came over here with an ominous curse and ended up setting off a raid in the area. But I always love this. Like, I love the fact that I had like a little floaty in the bubbly water, and then some toys out on the lawn here to kind of show some exterior work that we could do as well. Now, if we head off this direction, this was one of my big pride and joys. And obviously, guys, mushrooms are everywhere in the server. So anytime you see a mushroom that isn't a natural one, yes, that was me. Now, if we come on over here, this is the Halloween district and the autumn/Halloween district. And for a while, I did have my spider my spider string farm here. There is a spider farm, and we'll show you the farms here in a little bit. But the pumpkin patch was my pride and joy the very first month that we were working on the server, trying to get things together. Oda helped me get the black cats, and I set up all this beautiful little pumpkin patch with all these different little trees and little seating areas. The pumpkin rows, so you can pick your pumpkin, a little like photograph spot. I built the bridge, and then the cute little parkour thing that happened to be underneath it. And then if you come over here, this was Elle's beautiful little design that she did for the arch. And then Oda helped me with some of these things down through here. And a few other people, I think, built some of these little like booths too. But I built this one. That is the little fortune teller booth, and the little wagon there, and the little bench. And then we all kind of collabed in the rest of the area. And I finished out some of the flooring. I believe Elle has started some of it. Elle or E had started some of it, and then I kind of finished up. And then everybody else kind of did their own thing over here. Now, if we come on over here to the Townhall. Townhall is Zink's baby. This was one of his giant builds, and unfortunately I don't know if it's ever going to get finished, but it looks pretty good from the front side. Interior wise, I worked on the interiors for quite a while. There's like a storage closet. I put in all of these walls. I built out a whole bunch of blank rooms that if anybody wanted to do anything with them. Yeah, Lane was always here. And then it also came on over here, built out the cafeteria. And the cafeteria has bench seating, and it has like food and a whole bunch of different stuff in here. And I don't know if I've ever showed this on video. I was hoping I'd have a use for it, and we just never really did, but we got it finished. I got it finished. Also built out the main entryway here. And then down here we have the courtroom that Oda pretty much took over and did a whole bunch of after I kind of set out like a base setup. And just the different rooms that E and I did for interiors over there. And I think Zink and Emmy and some others like put in all of these desks. So we have Impala's notary office that we got installed in. And then Emmy's little dedicated Institute for Experiments research lab. There is actually a whole basement area that never got done that Emmy and Cap were working on. But they had a good setup down here, but we never got it finished. But that's okay. That's okay. That's something, if you get a world download, go ahead and finish it for us. That would be great. But I got all of this interior work done, and it looks a little plain. I would have liked to have worked on it more, but we just didn't have a whole bunch of use for it after a while. But if we come over here to the dregs of what's left of Zink's house, make sure you go check out Zink's video to see what happened. If we come on down here, the pumpkin base, I believe, still exists down here. That was one thing that, yes, so the pumpkin base still exists down here. So again, as part of the pumpkin resistance, the pumpkin war room was built. I helped Zink and E build this space so we'd have a little meeting room. So it's just a cute little meeting room here. Made of pumpkins, and then we did a lot of planting, so we'd have pumpkins. Actually, Zink did most of it, but I did assist here and there. So all the pumpkin takeover in the server came from the three of us spreading pumpkins everywhere. And then E dug this out and built all of the lore around the story. I suggested what we wanted to do, and then she put in a ton of work making this look old and burnt out and buried, so we'd have a great story for the pumpkins. So at one point, I also had a way down to my spider farm through Zink's place, but I'm kind of looking around and I don't see it anymore, so I'm going to free cam really quick all the way down past all of his hidden stuff here to where the spider farm got located. Let me see if I can find it. Where is my spider farm? There it is. So here's my spider farm all the way down below Zinc's place, and it's just, you know, one of the water capture ones that they kind of like came down and then I'd swipe at them there, and that was where our string production came from until Lane got his piglin farm going, and then, well, didn't really need that anymore. It only had string and spider heads, and once we didn't really need those, I didn't bother with them anymore. So besides the interiors of Oda's place and the Coliseum, I worked on this guy here at spawn. Again, all of these roads are me, and all the roads leading out to my build and my base are all... I did a lot of digging. I love doing a lot of digging. Anyway, here is the zombie dojo that I finally put in kind of late in the season for kind of like a mini game for the mini game district, and it's all based around having this zombie spawner down there that we can turn on and off and load in a whole bunch of zombies. Upstairs, we have the trainee rooms where you could get your spare food for the training. You could put donations in if you like came and used it, but it wasn't mandatory at all. You could set your spawn and put your stuff in. This probably, looking back on it, I should have built this like the first month or so back when we were first like working on the server and stuff, but I just didn't have the supplies I wanted to do to build it. And I think the final thing that I helped build around the spawn area was the skeleton farm, so let's go take a look at that really quickly. So the skeleton farm is actually 2 outhouses, the entrance anyway. Elle found these, like early on in the season, she found these too, and like after a few weeks I ended up kind of coming down here to help, and then Oda used it for our all of the snowballs we needed for our fight with the dragon. But I got all of these the 2 skeleton spawners, and I don't know why there's so very loud zombies down here, but I got the 2 skeleton spawners going, and we'll just take a look in free can because it's really hard. Oh, they're right up in here. It's really hard to show the actual setup here without doing this. So this one skelly farm is here, and then it would leap them up into this shaft where this one would come up. So there's the skeletons are kind of a little blocked right now due to that filler. Yep, there he goes. So after I got these guys put in, and this was our main XP source for a little while, and then we kind of came down here, and then Lane set up this sorter system so that we would have enough supply. All of the supplies would be sorted, and it looks like a lot of people have used stuff and bones and all that kind of stuff over the season. And then after that, let's head on into the Nether, because I spent a lot of time here during the winter. Oh wait, I forgot all about the beach. Let's go over to the beach. One thing I didn't show, I've never showed, is the beach around Oda's boathouse. I made like a party, like it looks like somebody had a beach party and didn't clean up after themselves, so they have like messes on the ground and cups everywhere, and there was a luau and all of that kind of stuff, and I made some custom palm trees for this area, and I really liked how this turned out. I kind of built out this beach a little bit more just to kind of give it a finished look. I mean, into the Nether first. Into the Nether. So the Nether, Lucky Lean Xaero put together this whole floor. He dug it out with the help of other server people, and I helped like kind of set up the walls and kind of gave this idea about what our tunnels were going to look like. And then on a live stream, dug out all of these little pits and put glass over them and gave them all of their like little mobs, and it was kind of like our only real zoo that we've had in the server. And this guy actually spawned in there while Lane and Oda were working in here, so this all turned out to be really great. And like some of these areas, like those are just armor stands so that the Enderman wouldn't just warp out wherever. But it turned out really great. I think that tunnel over there is probably the only one that really doesn't connect to anything, but we did recently install little books at the edges of each portal. So that's going to lead out to Impala and Cube's areas. That's going to lead out to Lucky Lane's and Oda's. I think he was going to set it up to there. And then down here was set to my base and the End District. So since we kind of spent more time on the End District, I'm going to hit that first. But I built out this entire tunnel back and forth, and then it created this tunnel into the End District. I put my little shop window there. E put hers in. And then there was still some shop that were empty here. Oda put in his B shop one. He put his redstone one in here. And then Lucky Lane put his Lazy Piglin one in here. And then this leads us into the second stronghold that was open. This one's underneath my house, so going up this way will get you to my base. So actually I'm going to mark this here so that I come back in here after we come out through the portal. And we helped dig this out. I helped dig all of this fun stuff out with Oda, Lane, Cube, well, all these names. Like, all these people all worked very, very hard to dig out the whole interior of the End Island. And then we all put our shops in here, which was amazing. Oh, Oda's down here doing something. I'm not sure what he's doing. All right, so recently I have built this little grand opening sign just because I felt like I think the shopping district is as open as it'll ever be. And I put in Millie Marvel's shop, and this was just kind of supposed to be kind of like an antique store, like or flea market or something where just all the junk resides. So I had my name tags for sale, I moved my spiders here, and sold for a while all of the stuff. So the golden carrots are here, all of the books are here, all of the miscellaneous-y things, the sponge rentals are here, quartz, the glass, the bookshelves, all of that kind of stuff resides here. And then I built one other shop over here, and that is the Prismarine shop, the Prismarine water fountain. I also built these big staircases that lead down, not like we usually use them too much, but a lot of the lanterns and stuff got built out here, and we will be showing you where this comes from here shortly. Then up in this little pocket of the shopping district is the mushroom shop where the mushrooms open their stuff. And yes, obviously I did build all of this up too. And the mushroom shop, you know, I haven't actually been back here for a while to see if anybody bought anything, but it was kind of late in the season by the time I moved all of this, so I kind of had a feeling that people wouldn't really need this stuff by the time I got this in. But I wanted to have a representation of the mushrooms here in this shopping district. This little pocket here was put together mostly by L and E. There we go. Again, I also built around this area and made it safe. And then put some end brick, some purple blocks, and that kind of thing in here to represent the end dimension here, and I love it so much. Now up here in the stronghold, we'll head on up through and up to my base. This was kind of an accidentally on purpose sort of thing. I didn't know that the stronghold was here when I picked the island, but before I started actually building on the island, we knew it was here, so I made sure I arranged things so I could get back and forth to the island, and then built this tunnel, and that's the path that leads back to spawn. Now here is the very first house on the Mushroom Island. And this is my love, the love that I have for this base. I spent a lot of time working on it. Over the course of a few months, I was still spending a lot of time at spawn at the time and just digging out the base so I'd have enough room for the house to have the views that I needed and collect all the supplies, and that took a very, very long time. And then just getting all of, you know, some of the walls in there, getting the supplies and running the time lapses and doing all the decoration down here. Then making sure that I had pathways carved out for everything. Put in all of the kitchen and all of my storage, which I love this size. I don't really need a bigger storage system than this. This is about as big as I need. And kitchen table, the windows so I can have the beautiful view of the sunset. And then the upstairs area, have the enchanting area, my bed, my secret creeper closet, and also like my little bathroom with my little sauna tub, my big screen TV where I did my one skit of watching TV. And then I haven't really shown this on video too much because I don't, is my secret closet of heads. And it literally has all my mini blocks and the heads that I've gotten, all of my extra gear, all of my different armor trims and that kind of thing, and all of those other things that I have collected over the course of the season. Now the second thing that got built here while we were on the island is the barn, so let me head on over here. Obviously I needed some place to put all of my animals. So the barn was actually built on a test server ahead of the season, and this was my base in that test server. And after that I decided I was going to build everything I could to kind of match this kind of build and make it all work together. And this had just like a little water fountain area, had the cow crusher, got moved here from spawn. And then all of the animals that I have got built here, put in here. And then the mushroom silo. And then this upstairs area in the original build, this was actually my like spawn area where I kept my bed and most of my storage, but right now it stayed pretty empty. I haven't felt like decorating it up too much because I just haven't had a need for it since I have such a big storage area there. And then I put in all of the farms around here, built in all of the pens, all of this, they added the sniffers, the chickens, obviously all the cows and mushrooms, our magical portal that exists down there, pathway over to Emmy's base. After I built the barn and the house, let's take a look at the museum real quick. I know that was a build that I've done pretty recently, so it's not too unfresh in your all minds, but because this is over a lush cave, I did want to make sure that I had an axolotl and a tropical fish aquarium of some sort. And since our very first base was all about fishing, I wanted to make it the fishing museum, so all the axolotls got moved in on one side here. And then on the other side, this is separated by glass, is all of the fish that the axolotls normally would have eaten all of, so that's why they're separated. Now, from there, built the schoolhouse, so this is kind of coming on over here. I wanted to teach the mushrooms lessons. So I built the schoolhouse. I wanted to have an old-fashioned kind of schoolhouse. My idea here originally was to have a whole bunch of old-timey builds in this area with the barn and the farmhouse. I was going to build maybe a sheriff's office or something too. Oh, the truffle dogs. I forgot the truffling dogs got moved over here. I'd asked Oda to move them over here and kind of forgot about them. Sorry, guys. Anyway, this is all the rule books up on the blackboard and all of the different little like school desks and the mushrooms that come and live here, and then our dunce guy. And then there was the pole chain to be able to ring the bell to call school in session. From there, this giant mushroom I built was not originally going to be an iron farm, but I was honestly tired of villagers being under my house, and I wasn't going to have villagers initially, but then I kept finding zombie villagers. I tend to do that. So the mushroom itself I had no plans for originally, and it turned out to be a pretty good iron farm overall. I think I'm not completely full. I don't load it in too much. And then up here, I'm going to crash, but up here I ended up putting a couple more farms just in case I ever needed them. I really didn't think I would, and I really haven't, so this was going to be, like, again, it has not been loaded in much, so the cactus farm hasn't, like, been producing too much, and neither has this. Not too bad. Bamboo's not too bad. Sugarcane's obviously better. But the interior here, I was planning on putting, like, more stuff in here at some point for, like, a community center, and just kind of ran out of steam once it was built. It just looks prettier as an exterior kind of build. So I just never really did too much with it. But if we come up to the very top, tippity top, you can kind of see the entire island from here. And obviously the next thing I built is out that way. So let's come on down here and we'll go look at the mini village really quick. I'm just gonna kind of fly past it because it was in videos not too long ago. This is the mini village here, and this was the starter mushroom house that, if in hindsight, I would have totally made this my starter house. I love this little guy. It has the full enchanting setup in it, and all the storage and stuff you would need for a starter base. And then over here, all of the other little mushroom houses that I just built recently. I still haven't fleshed out any of the interiors. Maybe I'll get to them, maybe I won't. But if we come up through here, you can see all of these little cutesy mushroom houses. The camel pin, the llama pin, the bees, because I had to bring them out of storage. I mean, I couldn't leave them sitting in hives in my storage chest. I really couldn't. And then the rest of the villagers that I had under my house at one point got moved into their own homes. And I haven't really done anything with them because I really didn't need to. I think I have a mason in here to help me with bricks, and that's about it. But these were pretty much everything that I built on the island. There's obviously a ton of space back here. I'm not sure how much more I'll be building, just because we are wrapping up things pretty soon on the server for Season 2. But I wanted to show it off and that you could kind of see all the little things I've kind of been doing over time. Now, the lighthouse was built about a month or so ago. This was based on a real lighthouse in Michigan called Big Red. And this turned out to be my server house, and I have a grumpy old lighthouse keeper. He's very grumpy, especially when I look at him like he looks very grumpy. Anyway, got all of this island terraformed, add all this interior for the big portal, and then also like put in all of the interior work. And I've since gotten all of the cats on the server now, all the colors I've adopted. So they're kind of sporadic through here, and I also have another dog. And those have been like just a lot of fun. This was literally a whole stone shoreline, and then I terraformed the whole thing and got it all put together with trees and everything. So we'll kind of come over here for this woodland mansion. Made it look like a frat house. And oh, there's a gold pair of pants there. But I got this beach set up with this frat party going, and set up the music box upstairs so that we'd have a goal to do, and that was a whole lot of fun too. And let me make sure I need the flight duration 3. This took a lot of my time while I was on the server, and sometimes I regret putting as much work into this as I did, because we've had a lot of people use the supplies, but I put more work into it than I probably needed to, just because we didn't really have a whole lot of need for the prismarine. But I know Impala used a whole lot of these, so that's at least good. But I did clear out the entire ocean monument, And the ocean monument is completely drained. This is where my beacon lives. Haven't really had a need to move it to the island, but I probably will get one for the island too. And then planted mycelium all the way around the bottom here. And the mushrooms have sprung up. I was thinking about using this as like another gag and just never used it really. But the original spawn area here would spawn both guardians and squid. And then if I sat up at the very highest spot, I could get both squid, ink, and all of the bits and pieces for prismarine and crystals, and fish and raw cod. And then this one I built later, and it just spawned guardians. So if I'd actually AFK at the lower platform, I would only get guardians, so I'd have enough supplies for that. And while I was doing both of those, I emptied out the entire interior of the pyramid. So it is completely empty except for my skeleton horse. This is the skeleton horse of the sea. My ocean queen here, she lives down here because I rescued her on the outside under the ocean. I didn't know that they could spawn on under the ocean, and they did. So that lives out like this. That horse lives out here, and then yeah, this is like, except for that one floor right there, everything else was emptied out. So there you have it, everybody. A quick, sort of semi-quick tour of all the builds that I did on CraftWorks Season 1, at least so far. Don't know yet where we're going to be wrapping this season, but I wanted to show off all the things that I've done so far, just so you could kind of see it all in one place, and also that I'd have it in one place. Oh, I forgot the mushrooms. Mushroom barn too. Lots of other things that I'm sure I'm forgetting. I know I did a lot of interior work. I did like just a lot of little bitsy things here and there, road building, terraforming, helping people dig out things, like all of the different things. But it's been a ton of fun. So love you very much. Have a great one. Give yourselves a hug from me, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave me a comment, let me know who you are, and you know, more's to come. Lots of good things to come. So I will see you next week. Bye from now from Mushroom Island. This has been Millie. Bye! Squawky bird. And if you're still watching at this point, go ahead and catch yourselves up with the rest of the season if you want to see any of these builds. And now it's raining, of course. Go ahead and click on the playlist. I'm sure there's something for everyone. Bye, everyone.